With your CIGTV News update this Wednesday evening, I'm Donna Bush. Today we begin with a press conference held by the Royal Cayman Islands Police Force. The police commissioner and others on the panel revealed the latest crime statistics to the press.
Well, there's a number of ways of looking at that. I mean, since the establishment of MASH, the multi-agency safeguarding hub under the family support, it's a successor to FSU, more or less. We have seen a lot more confidence in terms of the multi-agency approach, people coming forward, reporting incidents. The other part of that is a lot of our officers have received training. There's much more awareness in our organisation and indeed in other government organisations, so people are more willing to report the instances of domestic violence and assaults and all the issues that occur familial to the family support unit. There's better recording structures in place. So we tend to have better statistics on what the actual situation is as it is occurring on the island. So a pretty serious situation in terms of resources and the responses that are required in terms of dealing with domestic violence and other familial issues that come to the attention of the multi-agency safeguarding hub MASH. Well, the optimism is that we're doing a lot with young people. The community policing programme is doing a lot in different areas, engaging with the young people. You'll be aware there's the Deputy Governor is chairing a group recently established to deal with young people and gangs to provide alternatives, early intervention schemes. Child safeguarding is really paramount. It's up there at the top of the strategic, it's at the strategic apex of what people are doing right across government. Those are all very encouraging. They're the next generation. You need to invest in them there and now, and I think everybody across government is aware that we need to invest in the youth, and there's a huge focus on that. Community policing it's delivering very good results for us at the moment. The feedback is quite good. There's what we were concerned about earlier on, connectivity and engagement, and the feedback is why we don't get it right, all of the time. We are making good strides in terms of connecting. We still have a lot of work to do there. We don't underestimate that challenge. So they're all good reasons for optimism. In terms of concern, we'd like to keep the crime levels as low as possible. That's what we're trying in all categories. But when you see the figures of 30,000 reports made during the year converting to only 3,000 crimes, it's relatively very small, the crimes. And as you break them out across the categories, the serious crimes are relatively small within the overall crime commission figures. So there's pretty good news all around. We prefer if we had no crime, but obviously there's crime. It's an environmental, it's an impact on society. It's a fact that we have crime, but the figures are quite manageable in terms of the jurisdiction we're in.
And you can watch the entire press conference here on CIGTV this evening immediately following our news update at 6 o'clock. Meantime, the start of the hurricane season is not until June 1st, but preparation plans have been in full swing for whatever the season brings to the Cayman Islands. Today, workers from the Public Works and National Roads Authority were out conducting the annual shuttering of shelters exercise on all of the 16 shelters, which are shuttered up each year, to see how long it takes to do other government buildings as well, numbering close to some 100. Now, they have been shuttered up during the exercise, which has been around for almost 3 decades. During the exercise, generators are also started and freshwater systems are checked. The overall goal, though, is to ensure that buildings are safe. Meantime, residents and business owners are encouraged to check their own hurricane plans and safety of their various properties. Finally, we want to say congratulations to the host of Radio Cayman's For the Record show, Mr. Oren Connor, an avid cyclist. This week, he participated in an 87-mile charity bike race from France to Monaco. Mr. Connor did the ride with Premier the Honorable Alden McLaughlin, Chief Officer Eric Bush, and Police Officer Andre Tahal. Now, the highlight of the evening, as we said, for the Cayman delegation was when Mr. Connor was awarded the silver medal for being the oldest cyclist to enter and finish the race. Now, the course, again, we say congratulations to Mr. Connor. Meantime, Premier the Honorable Alden McLaughlin noted that the ride was difficult but rewarding. Not only did a cycling pattern allow for building new relationships with high net worth individuals and business people across a diverse range of backgrounds in a key market segment for the Cayman Islands, he says it also gave both him and Chief Officer Bush an opportunity to firm up relationships with individuals they met last year, Prince Albert amongst them. Now, for a look at our weekly schedule of programs here on CIG Television, you can go online to gis.gov.ky. If you missed today's news update, you can go to the Cayman Islands Government Facebook page as well as the CIG Television YouTube channel. For now, I'm Donna Bush, as always, thanking you for joining us. We wish you a wonderful and safe evening, and we hope you'll join us back here again tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye for now.
I'm Jody Ann Fowry. I'm the Police Media Officer with the RCIPS, and I'm here to give you some crime prevention tips on how to best protect your property. The first thing that we want to discuss is our points of entries. Let's start with the front door, and then we'll move on to the windows and the back doors or sliding glass doors. The first thing to consider is the front door. This particular front door has 2 deadbolt locks. One of these deadbolt locks are properly carpentered and the other is not. When your door is properly locked, you'll hear a click at the end and the deadbolts are not able to move. If it is slightly opened, then you can push the deadbolt back without having any restrictions. I'll now proceed to show you what your lock should look like when it is properly locked. When it comes to your windows, you want to make sure that your window is locked all the way down, because even though the lock is on, if it's not all the way down, it can still be pried. The proper way to lock the window is to make sure that the window goes all the way down to the seal and then you pull across the lock. When you have a sliding glass door at home, you want to make sure that you have secondary locking devices in addition to the lock that comes with the door. One of those can be a simple piece of wood that's jamming the doorway. We want to encourage you to ensure that you don't make things easy for burglars who are looking for opportunities to break into property by leaving your property out in plain view. Some of these items are your car keys, your electronics, and your handbags. Make sure that you put these properties away when you're leaving the house or when you're going to bed. When you're going camping or if you're taking your family on a trip, you want to ensure that your property has some sign of life. This can be done by leaving a light on or putting timers on your lights. And we want to ensure that our family homes are safe. In order to do so, we encourage that people take the proper precautions by starting up neighborhood watches or encouraging family members or persons they trust to check on their properties while they're away.
Did you know planning permission is required to clear land by mechanical means? You should check with the department, as a planning and permit application may be required.
The Esterly Tibbetts Highway 3-lane roundabout is ready for drivers. It's time to make sure you know how to use it. First, know which exit you need to take. Pay attention to lane arrows and signs. Make sure you use your signal to change lanes or exit the roundabout. To turn left, you always approach in the left-hand lane and indicate left. To drive straight ahead, you need to be looking out for signs and road markings indicating which lane to use. Get in one of the lanes marked with a straight-through arrow. If turning right, you must use the right-hand lane and indicate accordingly. To use the roundabout safely, remember these 3 tips. Know your exit, pick your lane, and signal to make your turn.
Did you know that planning permission is required for an addition, alteration, or any material change to your house? The 10% rule no longer exists. Did you know you should check with the department, as a planning and permit application may be required?